Okay, let's hit the live here on IG.
We are live. We are live, baby. We
We're
are
live.
live.
How you looking, Chef? Big Chef?
Oh man, I am good. I
Are your
am
keys
good.
working?
Yep, all my keys are working, man. We're live,
All
baby.
right. You ready to go? Let's go. Episode 17 coming to you. I'm back in ATL. Chef Stephan is in Haiti, and you're listening to the Roots, Heart, and
And soul, baby. We are
Roots, Heart,
Roots,
Soul
Heart, and
podcast,
Soul.
Heritage Radio Network. You know, on illustrious. It's a little bit rainy here in Atlanta. What's going on down there in Haiti, Chef Stephan?
Well, listen, man. I just finished feeding some very important people, about 10 people, and they were so happy. They're coming back, and it looks like they're big. They're bringing a big shot.
Oh, big
So
shot, right?
I'm excited. Haiti is seems to be calm these days. I'm just waiting on the word that the airlines will start flying again. But in the
Mm-hmm.
meantime, man,
Right. Let's go.
we're 17th episode, bro.
Right. 17, right? Whoever, as my grandmother said, whoever thunk it? Whoever thunk it, you know?
I'm
17 in,
serious, man.
you know?
17 episode, and I have to say,
Yeah,
what an exciting season one that we have had with
absolutely.
some of the most amazing people, not just talents, but
Right.
people,
People.
quality people.
Right. Well, I already got my glass. I'm gonna toast you on that one. Episode 17. This is the last show of the. Oh, you got one too. All right.
I
Last
got
year,
one too, baby.
last show of the season.
And what a treat to close the season with such an iconic chef,
Yeah.
somebody who we have high regards for,
Right.
Chef Keith Rhodes. I had the pleasure
Right.
of meeting him for the first time at the Bay Haven Food and Wine Festival,
Right.
um, and he gave me one of those hugs
Right.
that felt like we knew each other for 25 years, man.
I mean, shout out for Bay Haven. Shout out to Gregory and Sabrina Collier. Gregory was on, Roots Heart Soul in season one. I mean, and just the Bay Haven. I mean, the whole vibe was there. You're talking about culture. And Keith Rose is going to join us momentarily here. But you talk about culture. And let me even digress a little bit from culture. Let's talk about safe space. It was a safe space to
Absolutely.
cook in, to express your ideas, to be who you are, and also to challenge yourself to be better because the competition was so high. At Bay Haven, this year. And the one thing I don't think that we talk about enough as chefs is like, the competition that we have amongst the other, even friendly or formidable opponents,
But I'm gonna be very honest with you.
Yeah.
It didn't feel like a competition, but what it felt like
Hmm.
was when I see chefs like you, chefs like Keith Rose, all these chef Gregory Collier,
Right.
Matthew Rayford, Tia
Right.
Rayford,
Right.
um, the quality of and the level of chefs that were there at the Bay Haven Food Festival. You know what it does to me? What it does for me?
What? I
It
want to hear
it
this.
it motivates me as a chef to get better,
Correct. I,
because
I, I agree with
because
that.
because what I get from you guys is motivation. And the love for each other. And that's one of the things that we had this conversation with Tony Tipton. I had the same conversation with uh, uh, um, uh, KJ. Kearney.
KJ, correct.
And as a matter of fact, I posted one of a snippet of this conversation with him.
Hmm.
The fact that when he went to this conference, he saw white people, our counterparts, in very organized in clusters and organizations.
Hmm.
They were together. They were supporting each other
Correct.
in a way that yes, there is competition, but they're uplifting each other. And one of the things we have to keep talking about is for us as a community of Black and brown talents in the food and beverage space to come together to create something
Well,
that
something. Go ahead. Finish your thought. Go ahead. Finish your thought.
to create. And when I say something, because you and I have been working on a project already,
Mhm.
and I see there are clusters of Black organizations here and there, but the conversation we had with Ed Okra, the conversation we had with Tony Tipton, the conversation I had with KJ is about all of us coming together, maybe under one roof, maybe under another roof that says we are a fully cohesive community.
So to add on, we had Eat Okra on last week, on episode 16, and they had the conference that was had, and we told them that there's not a conference unless Chef Todd Richards or Chef Stephan is there. But we'll digress. We'll make sure that the conference is in full battle next year. But in all seriousness, the things that we talked about that I found most importantly was that there was a missing connection still somewhat between different types of media and the chef community. That
Absolutely.
the trail that he presents is really great. The books that we have from Tony Tipton to myself, Tiffany Berrouet, who was on season, helped us out. Season 2 we had Sean Chavis who helped me write Soul, on season 2 coming up. But there's still not this one synergetic conference, where we're, collaborating the two entities together to not only, uh, I want to use the word control, I want to say develop a stronger media influence, where this generation that is already online, already on every type of social media, they're monetizing it, but they're monetizing it singularly. How do we monetize it, multiply? And I think that's really what you're speaking about in what needs to be done and out of these conversations. And hopefully, Roots Heart Soul on Heritage Radio Network is a big part of that conversation. Did I surmise that what you were saying in just?
Absolutely. and
Yeah.
and I think one of the most important things, and you are correct, one of the most important things that we need to have is a very cohesive media conglomerate
Mm,
that is really focusing on putting the multitudes of talents, the multitude of minds, the multitudes of greatness. And I use that word very strongly
correct.
because we have a multitude of greatness in our Black and brown community that needs to be seen, and
So
that
so
needs
So when you say needs to be seen, I just want you to clarify that a little bit more, because we know that there's success out there. We see in Kwame, is going to be on Chef's Table, and things like that. So there is visibility, but I want you to
there
clarify
is.
seen a little bit more.
What I mean by seen, meaning that there needs to be, you know, there's still it's still little things here and there. You have Kwame, who gets a chance to be on Chef's Table. You have Gregory Gourdet. Um, you know, it's still we're still scattered.
So when you look at that format for Netflix, though, we also had Steven Satterfield, with High on the Hog, Mashama was one of the first on Chef's Table, and things like that. But maybe just in our conversation here, what we're talking about is getting into the other side of media, where our media, the Tyler Perrys, those
Ours.
actual producers, those producers,
Exactly.
actually take our culinary stories and tell them in and I'm gonna say not only culinary, I'm gonna say food and beverage stories, because it's not just culinary, in a
No.
sense, these food and beverage stories, and telling them in a way that it attracts media. And then that way we're not just a monolith in artistic formats of just being seen as, musicians or dancers or rappers, or even sometimes, which is gaining more strength, is black canvas arts and photography. That culinary is not just a, pinch of this, pinch of that, just in the essence of what soul food might be seen in the vernacular, that we have this esoterical value that we know how to talk to the earth, that there's more science to it. I think that's what you're gathering.
I think you have said it in a very beautiful way. Exactly. So we need to have the type of media that is just like us, by us, that is putting together amazing stories of amazing people that we have in this black and brown community in the food and beverage space. Because just what we've had so far on Roots Heart and Soul. Um, you know, we've had Vicherie, we've
Yeah.
had we've
Well,
had Tony
Cuisine Noir,
Fisher.
who's media as well. Yeah.
Absolutely. And so we've had quite a few writers on our platform
Hmm.
this season. Um, Marisol,
Yeah.
who talks about the stories of the Latin community.
Hmm.
Um, and Tony says she's not a chef, and Marisol says she's not a chef, but they have the ability to help us, not only on what they're doing, but to help us tell the food stories, on from our perspective. So I think
That's
what
great.
you said is said in a very uh, correct way. And I think, and I hope that more than ever, more than ever, 2025, we start to we start to do this.
Yeah, one thing, when you say for us, by us, I want to also acknowledge that there's people who are not us who do it, like Heritage Radio Network. I mean,
Absolutely,
they
absolutely,
produce, this podcast and video cast for us, and so they get it. I mean, they get, that we're not trying to exclude, we're inclusive,
no,
you
no,
know,
no,
but
absolutely,
telling. But putting, this story in the forefront, so that it's more acceptable to people. And then also, the economics of it, where people are actually striving in this, moving forward.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, absolutely. Yes, we're not trying to be exclusive at all. And as a
Mhm.
matter of fact, when we can find people, when we can find our counterparts, like Heritage Radio Network, who takes on a project like ours, or like Roots and Soul podcast, and brings it to life the way we've been able to do the last 17 episodes. We're filled with gratitude. So
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think that's what we need to do. And I'm going to tell you, I'm excited about um, the next season. I can tell you already, we
Right.
have we have 2 months already filled, January and February. March is
That's crazy.
March is already filling up. Um, we have, and believe me, the beauty of social media,
Hmm.
to be able to discover talents after talents after talents after talents. And, again, you were talking about media. I'm discovering talents that were unknowns to me, thanks to Cuisine Noir and
Correct.
Vicherie,
Yeah. Right. Right.
who's doing wonderful work on her side as well.
Hmm.
So I think that's what's exciting me for season two, is the slew of amazing people, talents, and projects that is out there. Um, and our next guest,
Right.
Keith Rose.
Hmm.
I think there's a story to be told about him,
Hmm.
uh,
Absolutely.
for everything that he's done for North Carolina,
Yeah.
for his space in this food and beverage world. I think you have certain people that I think their stories are absolutely inspiring and amazing, and they need to be put in the limelight of media today.
I mean, not only do their stories need to be told, and a lot of them do a great job of telling their own stories. We're just, just bringing this pot, and got it simmering, you know, um, and season one has been great. I mean, but one thing, and we're a little bit after 15, after the hour here. Roots Heart Soul podcast on Heritage Radio Network. Chef Todd Richardson, Chef Stephan. We also had Creole Food Fest, which served up some of the most delicious food. And since this is the last show of the season, and Chef Keith Rose is going to join us soon, just like a normal chef, though, he's got a VIP table. He's got to take care of the guests, so he'll get to us in a momentarily. But some of the best dishes I had over this year, were at Creole Food Fest,
Miami,
Charles, Miami,
Creole Food Fest, New York,
Miami, New York, yeah,
and
um,
and Atlanta.
and Atlanta. Um, Bay Haven was equally delicious. Uh,
Absolutely.
that pastrami, that oh,
Oh
that
God. Oh
pastrami
God.
at Bay Haven. I mean, I know Atlanta won the barbecue competition, but that pastrami to me was like, it was hands down probably some of the best pastrami I had. I mean, unbelievable. And the John John, somebody made John John. Go ahead. I know you were talking about
You're
pastrami too, but
you're talking about pastrami.
right,
I still have the taste
right,
of this cornbread, collard green egg roll
yeah, yeah,
in
yeah,
my
yeah.
mouth
Mm,
still.
right, wow,
Cornbread, collard greens, and egg roll.
yeah, yeah. I mean, that pastrami it was from Soul and Smoke, Chicago. Um,
Ah,
in Atlanta. Now, New York. Let's talk about New York right quick, because me and New York have a different love affair that I
you and
think
I,
right.
you and I,
you know,
put
right?
New York on its knees.
I mean, New York and I have a different love affair than I think most people. Everyone, know I'm from Chicago. And I live in Atlanta, but when I go to New York, it is something. I'll give
Us-
Miami a close second, but it's something different
Close,
about me.
completely different, completely
Yeah.
different,
Okay.
completely
The
different.
shout out to Fabrice, because Fabrice works hard for Creole Food Fest and things like that. But something about New York, man, just I mean,
There is something about New York,
you know,
and the reception
right?
from the guest who came to have your
Pork belly, right?
your pork belly.
You,
And
you make it sound so sensual. You said pork belly.
listen, man, listen. Let me tell you something. Us, 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 black people, and
Right.
I say this in the most beautiful way.
Mm.
We have a way of taking things that were not so popular,
Right.
or were seen as second class citizens in the food.
Hashtag $10.95 oxtails right now.
Exactly. And we take it to the next level.
Yeah.
We take it to the next level.
I mean, it's so funny. People like, oh, chef, you want to be inside? And no, I want to be outside. And you
Now,
understand it in black culture right now, outside means something totally
completely
slight, totally
different.
different.
Completely
Totally
different.
different. Nah,
And
nah,
the,
put me,
and the
put
funny
me
thing is,
outside.
we were both outside the first day,
Correct, correct.
and our table never stopped.
No,
It
no.
never stopped.
It's funny. It's funny how economically, as we climb the ladder, the things that we say we don't eat, like pork and stuff like that. But and how many times people came to the table and said, "Hey, I don't eat pork. I don't eat pork," but they kept coming back and eating pork. Yeah. So I mean,
Listen,
what do you say to
it's
that?
like the other day I prepared a ragu
Mm,
of pork feet, pork knuckles,
mm.
and I had people just hovering over it like it was a $35 plate.
Yeah, it should be. What do you mean? It should be a $35 plate.
Oh my God! I saw a video yesterday or the day before yesterday. They're now taking osobuco
Hmm.
to replace oxtails.
So veal or veal
Beef,
also beef.
beef
I mean, I guess
osobuco.
I see it. And also people are doing it with uh flat. So most people don't understand what flat iron. Flat iron is chuck roast. And you can braise flat iron just as well. You could cook it as a steak. And some of the best pot roast you ever make with flat iron, and people are doing it. I mean, it only makes sense though. I mean, supply and demand. It makes sense to use that piece of beef. Beef ossobuco though could be a little stringy. Well, I guess it makes sense though. You think about the sinew and you breaking it down and the stringiness. Okay, I can see that. I
And
can
if
see that
it's
happening.
if it's braised correctly the way we do it,
Right. Well, it has to be braised correctly, regardless of. I mean, the technique has to be right.
but the way we do it, and the spices and the flavors that we impregnate
Uh
in
oh. Uh oh. Hey, I'm done having kids. You can use that word just use that word yourself.
and by the way,
Mm-hmm.
I was absolutely uh, 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 I would say very lucky
Mm-hmm.
this afternoon, and I wanted to share that with you maybe on the air
Okay. All right.
because
Let's go.
I
Let's
met
go.
this I met this
Okay.
I met this beautiful young lady today.
Oh, okay, wait. So hold on. Let's get the background to our listeners here. This is 25 at the hour Roots Heart Soul podcast on Heritage Radio Network, and Chef Stephan, who I've been prodding for a very long time to find a really great significant other, is giving us an update right now. So this is breaking news live on
but
Roots Heart
but
Soul
but
podcast.
but I'm
Okay.
not I'm not putting I'm not put in French we say don't put the horse and don't put the chariot in front of the horse.
All right.
So I'm not gonna do that.
Okay.
But
Good.
but it just so happened
Mm-hmm.
by chance
Mm-hmm.
that this young lady is good friends with my brother.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, she came to the restaurant today
Already family. Okay, come on.
to pick up food for her parents.
Mm.
and I'm getting out the kitchen, and here she is, and she says, "Don't you recognize me?"
Oh my goodness. Was
She's
she in
this
your DMs or something like that? Or
she's this beautiful doctor, this
uh-oh.
beautiful doctor,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely gorgeous. And I saw for a minute there, I sort of lost myself. I'm like,
Yeah.
this could be a
Yeah. I mean,
possibility.
I mean, quite honestly, you're losing yourself right now. So
I said this could be a possibility.
okay. So
So,
what's on the
so
menu? So what's on the menu for you to cook for? I mean, what's on the menu? Because I know you're going to have dinner prepared for her
so
relatively
so
soon, the holiday dinner or something like that.
so
Yeah.
so as I'm adding Chef Keith Rhodes to the conversation,
Uh,
um, so he's a happily married man just like you,
yeah.
with beautiful wives, both of you. Um, it, it, it
Chef Keith, you don't know what kind of conversation you walked
Yeah,
into, but
I'm just listening. I'm just listening.
so
okay.
seeing this beautiful young doctor, for a minute here, I said, man, I gotta tell my brother Chef Todd that
Okay.
what happened to me today by accident. But
Okay.
nothing happens by accident.
Right. Right.
Things just are meant to happen the way they're supposed to happen. So,
Absolutely. 2 + 2
la-
always equals 4, my friend. Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes on the hour. We have the privilege, and I say that with the utmost admiration, for a chef that I've been following and wanting to meet for the longest of times. He's a wonderful, wonderful brother. I've had a chance to meet him at the Bay Haven Food Festival, um, and the way he hugged me and received me, it felt like we had known each other for 25 years. So, ladies and gentlemen, Chef Todd, I'm gonna let you present him because he's your brother too. Chef Keith Rhodes.
I mean, so you talk about fam, it's the difference between family and fam. Like family is the people that you will go through war with, and kitchens sometimes can be that way. It's set up in the brigade system, but when you understand delicious food, you know, when you could walk into somebody's kitchen and just see the way people operate, they're going to serve delicious food. When you see them walk into a room and everyone turns and looks, it's like, and he goes and stands by the stove. And then he walks into Bay Haven with a cooler, some oysters, some butter,
Ooh,
you
those
know,
oysters, those oysters
one
are
of
still in my mouth.
the, right?
Those oysters are still in
Just,
my
just
mouth,
light a
man.
grill, just light a grill,
Let me
you
drink
know,
to the oysters. Let me drink to the
do
oysters.
do
I'm drinking
about
to the oysters.
do about 2 hours of work, and then throw you the deuces. Like 'cause I've done it. To me, that's the hallmark of a great chef, and that's why I'm so. We're privileged to have our great friend Chef Keith Rhodes here on Roots Heart Soul podcast
To close,
on
to close,
season
to,
1.
to
Yeah,
close season one, our 17th
Congratulations.
episode,
yeah.
Congratulations.
on Heritage Radio Network. Chef Keats, welcome to Roots, Heart, and Soul.
Mm.
Right on, man. Congratulations on everything, guys. I really admire what you do for the culture, both of you both. And, just I guess it's been a long time coming.
You're right.
Yeah. And,
Mm.
it's to be here with you guys and to sit in front of you guys with some of the folks that have preceded me in this position. So I'm glad to be here with you.
Well, we appreciate it and everything. How was dinner tonight? I know you were tied up a little bit, so I know that decompression moment always has to sit in. But how was dinner? First of all, what was on the menu? That's what I'm more curious about. And where's the plate? Because I need.
Yeah. So, man, very seasonal here. We had a
Mm,
walk-in 15 top, of course,
mm,
right along the time this is scheduled. But everything's good, man. We're in our down season here in North Carolina, especially right here on the coast. We're
mm.
a big tourist town here. So we get it in while we can get it in. January will be closed down for a little while. We take our winter break for a couple of weeks. We'll be traveling around doing a few things. So, man, I'm just thankful to be here, man. 18 years,
Wow.
you know,
Wow.
out on
Wow.
my own doing what I do. This location has been about 14 years. So, you know, we're blessed, man, to continue to do something that I enjoy.
Let me quickly introduce this chef because
Read his
my
bio. I'm gonna get some more whiskey here because like I feel
yes
like
you do.
celebrating.
Yes you do.
You know,
Yes you
so
do.
go ahead and do the
Because
introduction, and I'll be right back.
Yeah,
my admiration for him is he's on the top of my list. Um, and his resume reads like a list of awards. And this is um, North Carolina native. Chef Keith Rose is owner of Catch Restaurant, Catch the Food Truck, Taco Box Kitchen at UNCW, and Taco Box Kitchen Food Trailer located in Wilmington, North Carolina, where he offers his unique signature on new Southern cuisine with international inspiration. Chef Keith Rose has a lifetime of roots sown in our coastal community, in which he credited his grandfather for his farm to table approach. In addition to supporting local purveyors, fishermen, and farmers, Chef Keith Rose is always proud to give back to his community by visiting local grade schools, colleges, and military bases to share his knowledge of food culture, cuisine, along with educating groups on food desert, sustainability policy, and food advocacy. And let me tell you, 2 times James Beard Best Chef Southeast semifinalist, NCTIA Tourism Excellence for Business Award 2023, NCRLA Restaurateur of the Year 2024, USA Today Restaurant of the Year 2024, Best Chef and Best Food Trucks 4 years in a row on Core Magazine, and I could keep reading.
I mean, Chef, you know, really, we appreciate you being here. One thing I don't think that people understand about the South is that not only is it not a monolith, we don't
My
all
first
do.
question to you would be:
Chef Stephan, are you there?
You've been
We
you've
lost you
been
for a
at
second.
this restaurant for 18 years. The work that you have done goes beyond that. What is your everyday motivation?
I think for me, the value of health and family and creating memories with my family is my driving force. Uh, I'm someone who has been struggling from the day I was born with major health issues that a lot of folks just don't know anything about. I was diagnosed type 1 diabetic when I was born. So a lot of folks never saw the other side of chef when I'm out
Mm,
grinding away, events, traveling, doing all kinds of things, and being able to manage that, and eventually ended up, you know, needing a kidney and the whole 9 yards. You know what I mean? And this,
wow.
yeah. And so when you say driven, I have a lot of drive because of that. My youth was super like traumatized growing up, you know, just a rough background, got into crazy things in my late teen years, making a lot of just piss poor decisions, man. Forced vacations, places I didn't want to go. You know what I'm saying? And,
I never heard it called forced
yeah,
vacations. I got it right. I remember that way.
and so, you know, man, it gave me a lot of time to reflect when I was young on where was I going? What was I doing with my life? What was important? And coming from that kind of broken family, mixed around, going to different grandparents and different things like that, I said, my core happiness is having my own family, providing for my family, being a good husband, and just raising my kids and just doing the right thing. And so, man, uh, around I'd say about 2018 or so, my life just kind of changed. And man, I wanted to just turn everything around. And that's what I did. That's my driving force every day, to give it 100 as much as I can do. And also, I come to a strong realization that, when you're a young chef, you really want to make an imprint for yourself. I think that the evolution of my career was really about blessing and bringing other folks along with my travel as well.
Wow.
Because a lot of folks did that for me. They opened up those doors, gave me some keys that I wouldn't, Chef Todd, that I wouldn't have ever gotten access to, So there's just a lot of love there that inspires me to continue to do work beyond the kitchen as well.
I'm humbled to share this with you as well. I was diagnosed with Addison disease, which is a deficiency in seminal glands, since I was 5 years old. Spent my teens pretty much in and out of hospitals. In 2009, at 37 years old, triple bypass. And now at 52, 3 years ago, I had lost the use of my legs, and it took a lot of will and mental fortitude to get back to being able to move again. And one of the motivations that I have most, and I say this with a lot of love, is my brother Todd. He's always telling me how much he's proud to see what I've been doing, even in the most difficult, physical situation. And to me, Chef, this is great motivation. This is to tell me that no matter what has happened to you, you don't let it become your Achilles heel. And thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, the thing is that for me, and I appreciate you guys, giving me, a shout out, but I don't do it. I don't do it for me. I do it for all of us. And the thing is that I try to provide people opportunity. Now what you do with it is up to you. But if you call me and say, "Can this happen? This happen?" Okay, I'll give you the opportunity to do so. And that's the only thing that any of us can ask. It's the only thing that any one of us can respond to, and it's the only thing that we can hold people accountable for. It's giving them the opportunity to do so. Nothing's promised, and quite honestly, that's what chefs are. We've always been the misfits, the castaways. The people that nobody wants. We go into the kitchen, we develop a familyhood, we develop a bond, we listen, we use all our senses in order to make delicious food. So that's something that that I don't want to be remiss with anyone to understand that cooking is not only a passion project, it's a labor project. It is a mental anguish project. And if we continue to uplift each other, it makes our lives a little bit easier because the next generation is coming after that. One thing that I really wanted to talk to you about, Chef, is that the monolith of what people think Black food is. And here you are in North Carolina, but you're on the coast. And coastal North Carolina food is way different than what Erica Council's family is making over there.
Mhm.
In Chapel Hill in that area.
Mhm.
Which is equally as delicious, but it's different.
Mhm.
It's approached differently and everything like that. So, what is it about the coast? Why did you get to the coast, and why is that cuisine so uh, integral part of the South, and also why is it still misunderstood?
Well, I think that the cuisine that we chose to promote here in Eastern North Carolina was something that I grew up around. Uh, one important backdrop note is I was raised a Seventh-day Adventist growing up. And so, what does that mean in the culinary world? It means that I was raised a vegetarian growing up. And so, I never decided to
Mm.
put a piece of meat in my mouth until I was probably in my early teens, let's say 13 or 14 ish, when I started getting that I want to be a chef bug. And so,
Right, right.
so my mindset had to grow beyond just what we were exposed to. My
Hmm.
grandparents were very holistic. My mother was a nurse, so shots of aloe vera juice in the morning. We ate a lot of processed vegetarian foods, fresh foods, uh, dry beans, and all that kind of thing. And so that was me young. Uh,
Not to
but
say we might need to bring that diet back now. The
yeah,
way we're
yeah.
going, but
So
go ahead. Yeah.
so my mother had passed away when we were 13 years old. And at that point, my father was just in the streets. We would go from paternal grandparents to maternal grandparents. Maternal was Seventh-day Adventist strong and hard, and my paternal were just regular AME Zion folks. They ate bacon, ham, and everything else
In
that's in
between.
that's in between. And so we got a mix of both things growing up. And I'll just say this, that growing up, I would go to the fish markets with my grandfather. We there was no grouper and tuna and all those kind of things we cook in the restaurant at this point. Back
Right.
then, it was mullets, it was
Mm.
spots, it was
Yeah.
croakers, it was
Yeah.
fish like that we ate a lot. And you go in there, you get them head off, dressed down the back, wrapped in newspaper, take them home, fry them up, a pot of grits, sliced
Hmm.
tomatoes, beets were pickled beets were always on the table. You
I
know,
mean, thank you.
yeah,
Wait, can you say that one more time about
that
pickle beets? Say that one more time.
pickled beets and a mason jar full of hot peppers. That that,
Man.
that was on the table. And what? So I'll tell you. I'm not going to drift off on a lot of things, but my Southern Black experience, I had to realize was not every Black experience.
But that's okay though.
I remember sharing this with a good friend of mine who's from Barbados. He was clueless to the Black American experience because he never went through racism and different things like we do here growing
Mm.
up in Barbados, you know? And so I was a little bit different growing up. I couldn't relate to uh, going out and eating fried chicken and having Whoppers, and things like that. If we went to Burger King, we got a Whopper with no meat. You,
Mm.
you, you know,
Boy, well,
you know what I mean? So
yeah.
fast forward, man. Fast forward, I'm like, I want to own my own restaurant one day. And so, we got the plan together, doing market assessment, kind of looking around, and I'm just beginning to get into the kitchen, working in these brigade systems, these kitchens, making demi glasses and all of these different things, that I had no exposure, and I almost kind of questioned it, and I was like, me growing up, I didn't eat gravies and just so many of these rich foods that I was being exposed to, for so long. Uh, Even for the people, I wouldn't even cook anything with bacon, just because. And I had to just kind of get out of a different mindset and start cooking for the people. And so when we decided I wanted to open up a restaurant, uh, I wanted to open up a vegetarian restaurant. Believe it or not, that's
Yeah.
that's what
That
Catch was.
makes sense.
That's what Catch was going to be.
Mm.
And just kind of assessing where I was at, uh, growing up, and what people kind of wanted. I said, we're going to go with a strong pescatarian concept.
Especially on the coast.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
felt really good about that. I felt like my target demographic would appreciate something like that, and it was super genuine coming from me. That's what I wanted. So those meals that my grandfather wasn't a chef at all, but he did a lot of the cooking because, believe it or not, the ladies, they couldn't burn. My grandma, she could not cook. And, my mom, she did the best that she could do. But, my grandfather was really the guy who could hook it up. And I had a lot of appreciation for that. And that was a lot of inspiration for the food that we prepare today. Now, I traveled a lot. I'll say that in the mix of all those things that were going on. I spent a lot of time in Los Angeles. I spent tons of time in South Philadelphia growing up. And then we would transition down into Miami a lot. So I was getting exposed to a lot of different food and coming back to this town. I was like, man, we got to do something different. So we ended up opening up a pho noodle shop, several other restaurants that are here that aren't here now. But we were just inspired by our travels to come back and bring, new food to this particular area. Wilmington was a major Hollywood hub where they were filming all the time. Once the incentives kind of left North Carolina and they came down to Georgia, Atlanta kind of took over a lot of those roles when it came to filming. And we actually would travel down and do a lot of film on set down in that area. It's just the travel just became too much for us to be able to do work down there, But that's kind of really what set everything off for me here in this area.
That's great. It's great. That's fun.
So, talking about your restaurant, so obviously your concept very much sets you apart. Me being from Haiti, seafood is a major component in a lot of our diets because we're an island. What is one dish on your menu that really just pops that everybody wants to have?
Well, the best-selling fish in this particular area is grouper, red grouper, black grouper, and it could be simply, prepared with grits or some sort of seasonal vegetable. We'll sell it out every night. But I think that the seasonal fish is what people want here, where I'm at. Tonight, we've got speckled trout, red drum. What else we got? We got local catfish tonight. We've got ahi tuna in here. And so for us, I would just kind of say like that seasonal terroir of what's in our area is what folks want. In this particular area, especially African Americans, we were heavily influenced from the Gullah tribes that traveled from Georgia up through the Carolinas. So a lot of the food that we serve, a lot of the ingredients that are on that day-to-day type of table is heavily influenced from the travels of our folks that migrated here on this particular coast. And so lots of things with okra, rice is back in North Carolina now. For so long, we were getting it from out of South Carolina because they didn't have the seed here. But now with Tidewater Grains up in Oriental, North Carolina, they're sowing seeds back here in North Carolina again. So that's something that we like to use here on the coast. But I think that people really can appreciate that because we're right here on the water. I am approximately 10 miles from the Atlantic Ocean right now.
Wow.
And, and I just think that people want something that's fresh. Now, another thing is we don't have everything all the time.
Thank you. Thank you so much for saying that.
In this business, and it's hard. I give you those numbers for how long we've been here, and it's been a lot of learning curves, and it's a lot that the community had to learn about a restaurant like ours. There are just certain times of the year you can come in and the menu is going to be super small. We just don't bring things in from all over everywhere. And with us, it's a lot of truth in advertising as well. You know, if I say that we have this is what we have. If I have Verlasso salmon that's imported, we have Verlasso salmon that's imported. If I say that our lobsters are flown in from Maine, you know, twice a week, that's what it is. You know, when I was younger and I traveled down in different areas, especially down in Florida, I remember going to a restaurant and ordering a grouper sandwich, red flag number one. And once I got the sandwich, it had skin on. Now, hey, something's wrong here. I've never had a grouper sandwich with skin on. Right. Never in my life. I've had others. So the truth in advertising just wasn't there, but to the novice, no one knows. And so we really try to keep it real here, providing a lot of income from local folks. We have our own oysters that we have harvested right out of Morehead City, tackle box lures. We work with a grower up there. And so it's just important to be able to showcase local.
I mean, my stomach is growling like crazy. We're got about 5 more minutes here. Chef Todd Richards, Chef Stephan. We're with Chef Keith Rhodes, Roots Heart Soul on Heritage Radio Network. Just give me a 1 minute synopsis on this, Chef, right quick, because we probably have one more question after this. But you said local catfish. You know, and I think that I don't really believe that anyone outside of our generation, maybe the next generation, understand the true taste of catfish. And then we also have the Vietnamese catfish, sway, you know, that is allowed to be sold as catfish. It's a subculture or cousin of. But what is that taste of real local catfish that people are not understanding, or maybe they never tasted before in their travels?
Okay, so you know, there was always a negative kind of connotation, especially early in the 1990s, of using farm raised product. Okay,
correct.
And you know, there were some issues at a point, but now I think
it's 5 billion people on this earth. You got to use. I mean, well, go ahead.
So we've come a long way with sustainable farming and sustainable practices towards aquaculture and different things like that. And so right outside of Greenville, North Carolina, in a place called Ayden, North Carolina, we use a product called Carolina Classics catfish. That catfish is farm raised, all natural. It has a natural feed that they do. This catfish is the best catfish that I have ever tasted in my life. You know, a lot of river catfish and wild catfish, even catfish that's wild caught from Mississippi, those farms and stuff down there. I'm gonna tell you what, it always has the taste of the earth. Now you can say it tastes dirt, or like a lake fish or something like that, but you know what you're tasting is what the fish eats, and catfish are bottom feeders. You know what I mean? And so when you have the proper farm, the proper diet, you'll change your whole mind about how catfish is done. We usually bring it in. We have a little saltwater brine that we brine it in, and then we fry it. Well, I will tell you this though, it is no comparison to the soft batch. That's what I call swai. You know, even those swai.
Oh no,
yeah,
that's why it tastes like absolutely nothing.
Nothing, and it just disintegrates texture-wise, like in your mouth or whatever.
I mean, it's closer to a cousin of tilapia than it is to catfish.
It is absolutely. But I'm going to tell you, there's very quickly. There's a guy that there's a lake in Haiti that is boats. It's a salted lake, and a group of guys developed this black tilapia in Haiti, farm raised, and it tastes absolutely amazing. It's meaty. and it tastes nothing like regular tilapia. With the same idea that you're talking about for the catfish. We're getting very close to the hour, but I wanted very quickly before we close, and we have to definitely invite Chef Keith back to the podcast. Chef Keith, I've noticed how much advocacy, giving back to the community, being involved in the community is important to you. If you could share very quickly, why is that so? And why is it important that all of us be more involved in our community?
Well, I think that community involvement is the pillars of who we are as a people. In a time where things are just ever changing, morals, expectations, and different things like that, it's important that we are grounded and that we stand for something, or we'll go for anything. And I think as the elders that we are, the OGs, it's important to us, the moves that we make mean something. People are always looking up to us. I'm not going to turn this into, my praise Chef Richards, but when Chef Richards was making moves, people was watching. I was like, oh man, this black chef has a restaurant in the airport. I've seen him. He wears his jacket. He's epitome of who I want to be. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It took so much discipline to be able to do this. It takes balls to be able to make moves like this. It takes heart to be able to serve hundreds of thousands of people a year. You know what I mean? So people are watching you. And I think that he was a man that moved with integrity. I want to be known for that. At the end of the day, when Chef Keith is gone, I don't want to be, oh man, he was a fabulous cook. There's got to be more than that.
Absolutely.
So the carbon footprint has got to be something different than that. And that's what I'm hoping to leave in my legacy, in my interactions with folks, and just being in this community like Roots Heart Soul.
So Chef, very quickly, where can our community, people that are listening to us, people that are following us, where can they find you? Where can they connect with you?
Oh, wait, Stephan. Wait, let's tell the truth now. Let's tell the truth now. If you want to find Chef Keith Rhodes, you better find his wife, because
right.
I am telling you that finding his wife and connecting with his wife was probably the best damn connection ever.
Right? You might as well be talking to yourself.
You wow for that. Yeah.
No, that's the truth. That is the absolute truth.
Was probably the best connection ever. But Chef, share with us your Instagram, obviously, Facebook. Let us know where we can follow you and continue to admire the work that you've been doing, and hopefully next year. And I got to talk to Angela. Obviously, we got to get you and Chef Todd together, not only for the book tour, but to really do something together. I would love to be in this audience watching you two at work.
Right on. So Chef Keith Rhodes on Facebook, ONEBADCHEF 910 on Instagram, One Bad Chef 910. I'm gonna tell you what, it's absolutely been an honor to be with you guys. I really appreciate your patience. This has been a long time coming. I love you guys. I love the work that you guys are doing. I wish continued blessings on what you guys are doing with season 2. I'm looking forward to it next year and linking up with you guys in the new year. And again, many blessings. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
This is close out of season 1, episode 17.
17.
It closes out the year for us. We are so enthralled and thrilled to have a legacy of chefs join us. Chef Keith Rhodes, we appreciate you closing out the season for us. Stephan, take us out of here, my friend.
Ladies and gentlemen, Chef Todd and I want to thank you for letting us come to your home and sharing the stories of Black and Brown excellency. I'm not even going to say talent, excellency. And we are proud that the book Roots, Heart, and Soul, written by Chef Todd and Amy Condon, inspired this podcast. And I hope that every single one of you, for the Christmas or the holidays that is coming, that you have this book in your library.
I know.
It is an absolutely amazing book that celebrates the cuisine of the African diaspora. Right. So I urge you to make sure that you go to Amazon or wherever you support black owned bookstores and buy this book. And plus, I am privileged to be not only one of the people that worked on the book with Chef Todd, but I'm in the book. So that's also a blessing and a gift that my brother has given me. So thank you for joining us on season 1 of Roots, Heart, and Soul. And we wish you a happy holidays. God bless. And we will see you in January, same channel, same time, for season 2 of Roots, Heart, and
Soul. You're listening to Roots, Heart, and Soul on Heritage Radio Network.
So, right on.